All right. Hello. Hi, everyone. This is Deidre with Are You a CPS Victim Like Me? I have my host, Tiffany, joining me this evening, and our returning guest from, what is it now, 2 weeks ago to do her part two of her story. So, anybody that was watching that show, this will be the pickup from there, and she'll finish telling you her story. For any new listeners, sorry, guys, I have a retainer in, so I might have a list, but bear with me. And I know my sound is, I think, a little staticky, but I won't do a lot of talking tonight. But for any new guests that are watching today, I do the show every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific time. And I am a mother that once had a CPS case. And I try to do these shows to get the word out there for other parents that might be going through a case or, have gone through a case and also just need a place to come and share your story or hear other people's stories to know that you're not alone and that there's a lot of people out there that are going through the same thing, and we can all use this as a platform to kind of support each other, because at the end of the day, I feel like that's what we all need the most in a horrific situation and getting your kids taken from you. So if you ever want to be a guest on any of my upcoming shows, you can contact me through the number on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, and my producer will get you scheduled, or, you can email in to my producer, which is Grace at vincentwdavis.com, and she can also get you scheduled. But other than that, I'm not going to do too much more talking. So again, I'm going to turn it over to my guests that have a story of their own. And again, if you haven't seen part one 2 weeks ago, you can go watch that or just kind of catch up here because she'll give a little recap. But other than that, Athena and her husband Daniel might be in the background to jump in every now and then. But go ahead, Athena, if you want to introduce yourself and tell the rest of your story.
Hello, I'm Athena. I'm in Alaska, and we have been fighting for my 3 older daughters with my ex-husband because I spoke up about domestic violence, and the judge did not see moments of domestic violence, and it has been horrific. That's why we're here, right? So our custody case started when my husband's and my son was 4 days old. My oldest daughter had a meltdown. She ran away from the porch where she was supposed to be, waiting for me to come home. And she went across the street to the store and called her dad. My husband went across the street while he was on the phone with me, found her on the phone, and the store employee said, "You can't be doing this here. You all need to leave." And my husband said, "Yep. Mom says get home." And they said, "We can't be here, so let's go." So they hung up the phone at the store and they headed back to the house. And I told them that I'd see them there. And I pulled up. So we live close enough that by the time I'd hung up the phone with them and they got back across the street to the house, I was pulling into the driveway. And so I parked the car and I said, "What's going on? Why are you acting like this? What's going on?" She said, "I didn't ask for any of this. I hate you. I hate Dad. I hate Daniel. I hate everyone. Why can't I just die? I just want to die." I've never seen anything like this. She's never said anything like this. She's never behaved this way. She's screaming. She's hyperventilating. And then she just starts screaming and biting her arm like she's trying to take a chunk out of her arm. And I tried talking to her and getting her to just talk to me. "What is going on? Stop biting your arm. What is going on?" She wouldn't. So I slapped her one time on the face to break the hysterics. She stopped screaming and she's crying. And I said, "Okay, go inside. Let me bring your brother inside. And we're going to talk about this. What's going on?" She went inside. I start unbuckling my son. And then she starts screaming again. The blood curling, soul tearing scream. And so my husband's daughter from his previous relationship was there and she was outside. I left her with our son while I ran inside to my oldest. And Daniel came out to deal with our son. To see my oldest was screaming, bent over, biting her arm again. So I swatted her butt one time. So "Get in your room." and her sisters were crying and what's going on? What's wrong? I don't know. That's what we're trying to find out. The state troopers call. Hey, we have a call for domestic violence. This is what's going on. This is where we're at. He goes, okay, it sounds like you're going through it. So it sounds like you know what you're doing. You're going to go to the emergency room. I'm like, as soon as I get someone here to watch my other kids, that's exactly what we're doing. He said, okay, cool. About 20 minutes later, my daughter's calmed down. We're talking. I get another call. The troopers again. We're getting calls that we need to come lay eyes on her now. I'm like, I just had somebody agree they can come over. They're busy doing something and then they'll come back over, or they'll come over here to get my other daughters, because otherwise I'd have 5 kids in the emergency room with me. Not exactly fun. Okay, one of them being a 4-day-old. We were in the process of moving. So about the time my friend gets there to pick up my daughters, I get another call from the trooper. Hey, this is Trooper Jay. I know at this point this is harassment by a cop and you can absolutely tell me to F off. And I'm like, okay. What's going on? He goes, we have received so many calls that my boss would really appreciate if you would let me just come over and lay eyes on your oldest. It's like, yep, my friend's here picking up the other 2 right now. There's construction on the highway, so take Hollywood. So he said, okay, I'll see you in about 20-ish minutes.
I still think that's so weird that they're asking you permission to come over. Any cop I've ever met, shoot, they would have just already been there on their own. You know what I mean? But I mean, I guess that was in your favor, right?
Well, I thought,
I mean, I've yet to meet the nice cop, if you know what I mean. So, cops in my life don't really seem to ever do anything good or right or anything. But in that case, I mean, it was kind of weird. But
yeah, he showed up and he's like, we were all standing outside. We were at the side-by-side that we had. And so my oldest stayed at the side-by-side while my husband and I stepped over to go talk to the trooper. And so my oldest couldn't hear what we were saying. He's like, okay, you guys have the right mind. You guys are taking her in. That's absolutely the right thing. I don't see anything that I would conceive as domestic violence. So why don't you have a domestic violence protective order? I've been denied every time. I filed, I've asked, I've been denied every time. He goes, how about a trespass? What's that? He goes, I can put a trespass on him and I will let him know that if he shows up at your address, I will personally show up and arrest his ass. Yes, please. Thank you. So he put a no trespass on my ex-husband. And then he's like, and I'm going to tell him that if he stops you from getting the help that your daughter needs, I'll personally show up and arrest his ass. Okay, cool. Thank you. This has been a nightmare and a half. So I left the hospital just after midnight because I had 4 other kids I had to go take care of. Sometime after I left, shortly after I left, my ex-husband showed up. So when I showed up that next morning, or 7 hours later, I brought coffee and breakfast for my oldest. And I was stopped at the nurse's station on my way back to the room where my daughter was. And they said, oh, I just need to let you know there's been an OCS case open. Oh, okay. Who do I need to? Oh, apparently my signal's going.
oh, there you are. Yeah.
So They gave me the OCS caseworker's contact information, and I proceed into my daughter, and she's pretending that she's asleep. I'm like, okay. So I set her coffee and her food down on the tray, and I'm finger combing her hair, and I start to braid it for her, and I'm talking to her the whole time. And about the time I'm ready to put a ponytail in the bottom of her braid, she falls out of the bed and runs into the bathroom. Okay. So I sit there and I wait. About 25 minutes later, she's still in that bathroom. And the room moderator goes over and knocks on the door and checks on her. And they talk for a moment. And the moderator goes back to her desk, and my daughter's still in the bathroom.
Were you talking to her through the door or anything?
Nope,
Or
I was
asking her to
sitting
come
in her
out?
bed across the room. And I'm just like, what is going on? I'm just confused. Because this is not like her
How old is she?
Yeah.
at all.
Or was she?
She was 14 at the time.
And she never had any prior like behaviors like this, right?
Never.
Yeah, I don't know what I would do if one of my kids just all of a sudden like started acting like a different kid. And like even like
Yeah.
responding to like you being there in such a weird way, like falling out the bed and running into the bathroom, I'd be like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah, so I'm sitting there and I'm just like, okay. So I wait about another 5 minutes. I'm like, okay, I have 4 other children that I have to take care of, and I'm still in the process of moving. So if my daughter would like to talk to me and would like me to come back, please let me know. But I'll be back this evening to check on her. Well, by that evening, they were ready to transfer her out to a different facility, a CRC, which they had to take her via ambulance. So then I had to drive an hour and a half away to do the paperwork for her. And I was not allowed to be there at the same time as my ex-husband. So I had to be there before she got there to do her intake paperwork so that my ex-husband could come in after I had left.
where were they taking her? To what?
So it's the Providence CRC, the Crisis Recovery Center. So it's like a 25-day program for adolescents in crisis.
But they never gave you any medical reasoning to why they were sending her there, just other than
Because
what?
she said she was going to kill herself. She wanted to kill herself.
Oh, so it's kind of like a psych ward, but not in a way.
Yep. So it
Oh,
was the
okay.
25 days so that she could readjust to coming back home.
Oh.
Well, as she was there, she kept getting worse. And the staff kept having to redirect my ex-husband with her when they were in their interactions. And they had to separate them. And they're like, there are issues. I'm like, oh, really? There's a reason I asked you guys to make sure that all interactions are monitored. All of it. I did not say, oh, just pick on him and just make sure that no, I said all of us. For the safety and well-being of my child, it all needs to be monitored.
You would think that that would be a rule at this facility.
Yeah. Oh no, I became high conflict.
Oh Lord. Although
I
when you
became
would go
high
visit her,
conflict.
would you have when you would visit her though, would she have any else problems like she would with the father?
No. So when I would go see her, I would have my son, my infant son with me. I wouldn't take any of the other kids because this was during COVID. So they could only allow 2 people in. And it was me and the baby so that she could have that relationship with her brother, because her sisters were able to go on the weekends with their dad. Now, they allowed my ex-husband and our other 2 daughters to go in with his now wife and her other children, and they allowed them all to go outside and have interactions. But I was only allowed me and the baby. Occasionally, I was allowed for, there were 2 times that my best friend was able to go with me before she had to go back to Texas. But I was only allowed one outside visitation with our family as a whole. And that was the very last visitation before she went to a 1-year long-term residential.
And during these visits, when you were seeing your daughter, was there ever any conversation from her to you as to what is going on?
There were allegations of my husband and I both abusing her. And I said, bullshit. Called it out right there. Bullshit. She got mad and she started stuttering. And I said, I'm calling bullshit. Tell me exactly when, exactly where, exactly how. Because I'm calling bullshit. Oh, well, there
You
was
think
3
this
or
was
4
all?
times.
You think this was all coaching from your ex-husband? Is what it sounded like.
Absolutely.
Wow. For him to see what he's putting his daughter through just because she wants to come up with this narrative to hopefully one day be against you and your now new husband that obviously your ex is still so bitter about, apparently, but to let his own daughter be going through all this traumatic. Wow.
Oh, it's worse. I homeschooled for 9 years before we separated. Okay. He had no issues with it whatsoever until I went through with the divorce. And then I'm neglecting their education. And as soon as we're separated and I've finally been able to move out, he's telling our daughters they don't have to do their schoolwork. Homeschooling is not real school. They don't have to listen to me. They don't have to do what I say. And they're coming home and they're telling us. He said, I don't have to do what you said. He said, homeschooling isn't real school. He said, this isn't real school, so I don't have to do it.
Wow.
So the mental health provider, I'm like, what do I do? They're okay. So you need to do counter parenting instead of co-parenting. So you need to stick firm with your rules. These are the rules in my household, period.
It's like, why can't they set the dad straight? Obviously, they always want to
Because,
cater to the abuser, I feel like.
yep. So it, with mental health provider, it came end of May. In the end of May 2022, our daughters went to a visitation at their dad's, and our oldest came back. She didn't have her cell phone because the school had called saying that she was taking 2 elective classes at the middle school to see how she did with it. And the school called me 3 times in one day saying she was being disruptive and she was causing problems. So I took her phone away because your phone is a privilege. So she didn't get her phone at her dad's. So the Sunday night when I picked her up, before her dad can even peel out of the parking lot, she goes, we can't trust our former mental health provider anymore. Or, the mental health provider. We can't trust her. Why? She was showing me these messages where they're talking about all of our sessions.
This is coming from your daughter?
Yep. So the trauma provider was my trauma provider for intimate partner domestic violence.
Mm-hmm.
And then during COVID, my oldest daughter's mental health provider that she'd had, she wanted me to tell my oldest daughter everything that was happening through the divorce process as it was happening. No, she is a child. She does not need to be involved in this. So we obviously butted heads.
Why would she tell you to put your child in the middle of a divorce? That makes no sense to me. But okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, that's exactly it. That's why she was a former mental health provider. I've got the new one. I tried to find a different one than who I was seeing, but it was COVID. Nobody wanted to take new patients. And then it was 3 minor children, which is even more they don't want to do. So finally, at like my wit's end, I asked my mental health provider at the time, I said, hey, do you see adolescents? And she goes, absolutely. Would you mind seeing her? Absolutely. So I'd make sure that my daughter had her telehealth set up, and then she'd take her phone in her room. That was it. This is what we're dealing with this week. This is what I've noticed with her behavior, whatever. So then 2 weeks without a mental health provider is when my daughter had her mental break and ended up in residential, or in the hospital that ended up leading to residential. She spent 104 days in the CRC, which is a 25-day program. And as I'm wanting to pull her out and bring her home and send her to my parents or somewhere so she's not in the middle of all of this, I'm being told no, 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 no. I'm the problem. So then we had the our attorney at the time asked why we didn't have a guardian ad litem. I had no clue what a guardian ad litem was. OCS was not involved other than investigating and not taking custody of our children. OCS recommended every single time for us to get domestic violence protective orders against my ex-husband. And the courts again denied us every single time. And then when I tried to subpoena the caseworkers and the troopers for our trial, it's a civil matter. You cannot subpoena the caseworkers or trooper.
That's a 14th Amendment due process violation. I don't care if it's civil or criminal. That's BS. They know it, and now you know it. But go ahead.
I was like, and that's what I told him. I was like, it shouldn't matter. You guys investigated. I should be allowed to call on you as witnesses. They were not allowed to be involved.
Look, see, this is where I have an issue, right? There can't be two civil things, right? Because you, without a CPS case, they didn't want to hear it. Even with the CPS case, it's still civil, but they bring in their experts and their people. No. 14th Amendment due process violation right there. And let me tell you what I just learned. That's an automatic loss of jurisdiction. You should have went straight to the federal courts because that's a violation of your 14th Amendment.
We filed with the federal court. We filed all of it. I've continuously called them on it and called them on it and called them on it and been told I am in the wrong. So we did file, like my last motion was a motion for void ab initio and transferred to the Alaska Supreme Court, which of course I got the opposition to today. Yeah, it's
What do you mean by when you said that? Meaning it's not going to be heard by the Supreme Court or what? When you said I got the opposition, what do you mean?
So the Office of Public Advocacy filed their opposition to Mother's motion for void ab initio.
I know, but so what does that mean? Because I'm a little naive to the process of that, I guess. Like,
so void ab initio is void from the beginning.
No, yeah, I know that part, but the part where you're saying what they filed, the opposition, what does that mean necessarily?
They filed saying that I'm in the wrong. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what void ab initio is. I don't know what fruit from a poisonous tree is. I don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm clearly misguided.
Oh, really? Because I know for a fact that you watch Gunning for CPS, that you watch Tiff and the Punisher, so you know what you're talking about. They're just mad because you know, because they didn't think you knew.
See, I have always been a constitutionalist. I just don't know the law part of it. So I'm lost there. That's why I am so thankful I found these shows, because I'm like, oh, thank you. You guys know the case law part.
Mr. Obsidian, right? That guy is like, just like Tiffany in a way where I feel like
I pause
the
lives and I'm like, okay, writing down this case law. Okay, play, back it up. Okay, making sure I have it.
So, okay,
But,
so now where does it lead you with what you found out today?
So this was motion number 99.
I thought after a certain amount of motions, they just don't even take anything from you at that point. I've heard. No?
I didn't even know the motion numbers until so she denied my motion for reconsideration, saying that I filed it in an untimely manner. I'm like, nope. You have 10 days from the day you're served, not counting weekends or holidays. And so I literally Barney style counted it out. I'm like, you served me the Tuesday after Easter. That day does not count. So day one is the 23rd, 24th, 25th, 3 days. Then there's a weekend, Saturday and Sunday, 2 days. They do not count. That Monday through Friday. And then there's a weekend again. Those days don't count. So day 9 would be Monday. Day 10 would be the Tuesday where I personally hand delivered all of your shit.
So what court are you in right now?
Anchorage.
No. Are you in federal court still? Or
No.
are you headed to, where are you at?
We're still in district court. I filed with the federal court, but I don't know if they're going to accept our filing
Why?
because they told me they don't have to accept them.
Who told you that?
The Supreme Court clerk.
Well, oh, really? That's not true. It is the right of the people to access the courts. So you go back and you tell that chick that they might not have to hear it, but they have to give you a reason why they're not going to hear it. And
Yep.
if they don't hear it, then that's when you go to the Supreme Court.
But is the clerk of the court the one making the decision whether or not the Supreme Court is going to accept her case? No, right?
That decision, that is not their job. Their job is when you bring the paperwork to them, they got to stamp it
They take it
and hand it off.
Bye-bye.
Yep, I have the copy of the paper that they stamped saying they've received it. But that's it.
It just had filed.
Yeah, it says they filed and received it on May 6th.
So is there a protocol of the time limit that she should know whether or not she's going to get an answer, obviously, or she has to just keep...
You're dealing with the people that make the decisions, right? They can say, yes, we're going to hear it, but we're not going to hear for 18 months, right? Because we're booked. Or they could say, no, we're not going to hear it. And this is why. But see, I tell people, like when I go to court, I love when they dismiss my cases because I'm like, great, I'll see you in federal court. And then it's like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, because you all don't want me to go there. You don't, because I can represent myself and I want a jury. And I'm going to get paid.
Real quick, how long has it been since you've seen your daughter?
I have seen my oldest daughter twice since November 22nd, 2022.
With the most recent one being when?
October 13th, 2023.
Why?
Because I have been blocked from seeing her by the guardian ad litem, Julie Hammond, in Anchorage, Alaska, with the Office of Public Advocacy.
Only the judge can block your visitation, I thought, not the guardian ad litem.
Oh, yep. We have Judge Adolf Zeman, and he just recused himself as of April 1st.
So he's no longer your judge.
No, we have Judge Danny Crosby now, and she has denied each motion that I have filed since.
Okay, so
I'm confused.
Under what statute or code are they using to keep you from your child?
They're saying that I have not abided by any of their orderings. I was court ordered a mental health evaluation with parenting component, which I have had 2 of now. They've now ordered a 3rd psychological evaluation. where my ex-husband and the guardian ad litem are to have the opportunity to corroborate with my evaluator.
What?
And I've said, nope, the VA has flat out said they will not cover a third one. And they absolutely will not cover the violation of my HIPAA rights by allowing my abuser, who has been my factual abuser, and they have plenty of years of that.
How is that even a psych evaluation if they're going to be able to, like, collaborate? Oh my gosh.
Yep. I have taken the parenting class that they court ordered, and I did a domestic violence 36-week class that they court ordered. The class that I was going to do was going to cost me $700, and I'm like, I can't afford that. Like, literally, we're on the verge of bankruptcy fighting this. And it has been
they order you to do a class that they have to pay for it. I thought, is that not true?
Nope, I have to pay for it. So then the court, we went to court for a hearing, and the guardian ad litem said, well, the VA has a domestic violence class and it's 36 weeks and she should just go do that if she's worried about cost. So I did.
But wait a minute. Because you smacked your daughter in her face and you smacked her butt, you're considered domestic violence?
That is what the judge, Judge Adolph Zeman, and guardian ad litem Julie Hammond are both considering domestic violence.
Okay, so like Virginia is a corporal punishment state.
Alaska isn't.
Well, it doesn't matter. You have the right to discipline your child. Period. Look. I watched Cops one time, and this state trooper, or I think he was a Texas Ranger, this grandmother whooped her grandson, okay? I mean, she whooped him. And you know what he told her? As long as you, from the butt to the back of his knees, as long as you don't break his legs, you can do whatever you want.
I heard as long as it doesn't leave a bruise and it's like below, I think, like on your butt, or not like in your face, I don't think, but as long as there's no bruising, I heard that it's technically considered okay.
You can slap your child in the face. Absolutely, you can.
Why should the state have any say on how you discipline your child, period?
They don't. That's what you all need to look. The Bill of Rights is the Bill of Rights is a restraining order.
Oh yeah, I have called them out for it. I'm like, you guys continue to violate my rights, and this is how. And I am the problem. And the Judge Adolph Zeman went so far as to tell me in so many words in court, when I reiterated, we have had 8 state investigations against us, that every single one of them has found the allegations against us to be not substantiated, and every single one of them has advised us to get a domestic violence protective order against my ex-husband. And
your child should have been returned home immediately then.
They should have been.
After all those investigations. Seriously. The case should have been closed and your child should have been home immediately.
Our children were never taken by CPS though.
No, but your oldest was, I thought, right?
Wait a minute. They did a transfer of custody?
Not that I know of.
Well, where's the daughter been this whole time?
We're on interim orders. So that's the in-between orders stating that my ex-husband has sole legal custody and I am to have 8 hours supervised visitations a week. Private pay because my ex-husband will not allow anyone that I know to supervise visitations.
Okay, so hold it. In order for you to lose custody, either somebody transferred custody. Somebody who transferred custody. Did you have custody?
I had primary physical custody of the kids. The judge transferred the kids to sole legal custody to my ex-husband.
Right. So they transferred the custody.
No evidence. All 3 of them.
Oh my God.
All 3 of them.
Legal.
It's
and then
not.
This is the judge that recused himself recently, right?
Yes. In a very, very hostile way.
Yeah, he left behind a very nasty note about my wife. And we tried to have that note thrown out of court, and the new judge won't allow it.
Yep.
Have you filed a federal injunction on these judges?
I don't even know what that is.
Adrian, uscourts.gov. You need to file an injunction. That pretty much tells the lower courts, we're watching and you better do it right.
Okay. I know we have filed a judicial complaint and that's under investigation, so I'm not allowed to talk about that.
You're not going to get anywhere. They're going to say nothing was wrong.
Yep.
So wait, when is your next court date?
We don't know yet. I got so the Office of Public Advocacy's attorney filed a motion to finalize the interim orders, saying that because now they're saying that I'm refusing to do the third mental health evaluation because I'm not doing it right way. And I'm clearly not adhering to their rules because they're now not considering the DV course I took through the VA to be appropriate.
Why
not? I literally took.
It's literally the one they recommended.
Because it's for intimate partner domestic violence.
Oh my God.
So once again, I'm calling them out on
weren't you court ordered 8 hours of supervised visitation a week?
Yep.
Right?
But my ex-husband why
is it your ex-husband's decision making to approve the supervisor? As long as
because that was the stipulation. That was literally the stipulation. I'm to have 8 hours of supervised visitations at Mr. Tennant's discretion.
Did you object to any of this?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All of it.
Still did it.
Everything we object to, they throw out.
And
y'all
I
stop playing with those little BS courts. Get in the federal court.
Told me to file
go straight to the Supreme Court. I'm telling you.
Yeah, Adrian told me to file a writ of something.
Don't worry. Yeah, I know you watch Mr. Osip.
That's who she just said. Adrian, right? His name's Adrian.
Yep. Obsidian, yeah.
Yeah, she said he told her to file a writ or something.
Yeah.
Wait, so I'm confused a little bit. I know you have 3 daughters with your ex, and then I think you have 3 with your current husband, but they took the other 2 to your husband too, like your ex-husband?
Yep.
Just because of what you were supposedly doing with your oldest. Now the other 2 got stripped away to him too.
So when my oldest went into residential treatment, my other 2 daughters refused to go with my ex-husband. Like the first weekend she was in residential treatment, we were at the airport, meeting them at the airport so I could pick up my parents. Excuse me. And my second daughter stopped halfway between my husband and I and my ex-husband in the parking garage. Stopped halfway between and looking back and forth between us. What's going on, sis? I don't want to go. Let me tell you what, I bit my lip and I'm like, I'm not saying anything. I don't want him to say that I'm saying to her to say anything. He's like, get in the car now. I'm not playing around. No. I need to help take care of my brother.
How old was this daughter at the time?
She was 8. No. In 2022.
3 years ago.
3 years ago. Yeah, her birthday is this month, so she had just turned 7.
When's her birthday? My birthday's this month.
The 25th. She's my Memorial Day baby.
She's a Gemini like me. Oh. So wait, so you haven't seen those 2 daughters either since 2022?
No, my last visitation with them was December 30th. That was the last time I could afford the $90 an hour because
of what year?
Life. 2024.
And you haven't spoken to them over phone or video or anything?
I'm also court ordered 3 times a week video calls with them, and they have been denied since February 10th because of the issues with my oldest daughter, the safety concerns, where she has very publicly posted to her social media of 2 instances of domestic violence with my ex-husband. She posted it to her. Oh yeah, January. This is how I found Tiff and Punisher.
Wait, so your video calls are suspended because of what your daughter is now posting on social media of what's going on with her dad, where they're now with.
Yes.
But your video calls get suspended because of what your daughter's doing.
Yes. Come on.
I know they're old enough and smart enough that if they really wanted to call you in secrecy, I'm sure they could. Have they tried that?
So they were using Roblox and getting a hold of me until somebody found out.
So they do definitely want to still talk to you and see you, but they're obviously being...
The youngest 2 have been begging to come home. There have been instances that I have personally witnessed of abuse at my ex-husband's house with my daughters there.
Why can't you call CPS on him?
I have.
It doesn't work like that?
I have supplied them with the proof. And I am the problem, according to the state of Alaska.
Okay, so do an anonymous call of abuse. No?
Okay, it has been bad enough that even my mental health providers have called in because of the continued abuse. This is post-separation abuse. It is literally, legally, and clinically seen as post-separation abuse. It is recognized as domestic violence, and the court continues to ignore it. It is a violation, a direct violation of Violence Against Women Act, and I continue to call it out for that as well.
This is my biggest overall frustration with CPS. It's the fact that they just seem untouchable no matter what you do. Even though they're breaking laws, they're doing this, they're doing that. They set up their own rules and you follow, and they still find a way to say no, no, no. And it's just like they seem to continuously get away with all this.
Oh, they're going down.
They're supposed to be protecting the kids, and yet this is what they're causing now.
They're going down.
I will absolutely be working to help other families not go through this nightmare. No, my babies are throwing a fit.
3 little ones. I know you currently have 3 little ones under 3 because you reminded me today because your text. So for any viewers out there, if you see her kind of being a mother, that's mothering, attending to your kids when need be. But we have about 15 minutes left, and I want you to. What's that?
The 1.5-year-old escaped her seat and was causing trouble.
Oh my.
Well, we have about 15 minutes left, so
he wants to be causing trouble.
Okay. We have about 15 minutes left, so if you want to say any last words, or your husband Daniel, to let the guests maybe know. Oh, don't show the baby's face. Sorry. Just because of legalities of the show, I don't want you or me to get in trouble. But yeah. So Tiffany, I don't know. You want to share any other last words, or Athena, Daniel? I mean, I think. Where do you stand now? You're just waiting to hear back from.
Yep, we're in the filing and waiting game. We've filed our complaints with the DOJ. We filed complaints with the ombudsman. We filed complaints with judicial review. It's nonstop.
I mean, Tiffany, isn't there like a time limit though when they're gonna almost say like this case is now too long and it's done and over, or no?
No, and there's no statute of limitations on deprivation of rights. So even when whatever happens, her kids can sue, she can sue, it doesn't matter. But what I want to say is my rights rally is Sunday. Whoop, whoop. So I'm going live on Sunday.
Yeah, I was going to say, mute yourself, Athena, for a second so we can hear Tiffany. But Tiffany, explain a little bit more about that for our viewers, what the rally is all about and what maybe people around you that can come support you there.
Well, I'm going to teach people their constitutional rights because 90% of people do not know what their rights are. Okay. Not only that, even if you know your rights, you can say your rights, but people don't know how to use them. Because if you don't use them, you lose them. And if you don't know them, you can't use them. So the papers are going to be here. I mean, it's going to be a whole big
I wish you
shenanigan.
could have like, this sounds really stupid, but I wish you could have some kind of like GoPro camera on your head the whole time and record the whole thing or do
Well,
it live. I don't know, so that people,
I'm going to be live. I'm going live.
Oh, okay, cool. So like people like us in another state can be like participating in a way?
Plus,
Okay.
Some people are going live on their Facebook pages. My son is going to hold my phone or whatever he does.
Well, tell our viewers what your show is if they can find that on, because I'm not sure what show you're doing under right now.
I'm still,
this is Davis's platform, so anybody out there that might not know about you, what YouTube show are you going to be putting that out under?
Tiff and the Punisher.
Oh, okay, I didn't know.
So
any viewers
on Tiff and the Punisher.
Okay.
I'm going live. It starts at 1 p.m. Eastern time. I don't know what time that'll be for you.
Well, mine is 3 hours, so it's 11 a.m.
And she's in Alaska, so she's like 6 hours or 4. I don't even know. It's crazy.
Oh, wait, there's that much of a time difference right now? What time is it there?
It's 4:48 here.
Oh, in the afternoon? Oh, that's only an hour different from me. No, 6 hours.
It's 4 hours for me.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess. But it's earlier, not later. I'm thinking, what is it, midnight there? No, I see the sun now.
No. So it's going to be live.
We'll have 24 hours of light here soon.
Right.
Oh, no.
And I'm going to have case law. I'm going to teach. Let me tell you something. I'm already the most hated woman here. We've invited the police departments. We've invited CPS workers. I'm personally inviting both of the district attorneys, and we're putting it up in the courthouse so the judges can come. Because the first thing I'm going to tell everybody is today is the day you start living your life under the real laws of the country.
What did you get any response from like any of those people, like the police or anybody, to say if they're going to even come or not come or no?
Don't know.
Hey, it's like when you kindly would let your new neighbors know if you were going to have like a block party, maybe like to try and, not have them call on you. It's almost like you're inviting the police to the event ahead of time. So you don't have to feel like if they get a call, no, I already invited you. Right?
We invited everybody. We invited the city council. We invited everybody.
Where are you doing it at?
At Frederick Douglass Park here in Winchester, Virginia.
Uh-oh.
I'm excited.
Well,
I can't wait.
Well, I'm excited to see whatever it is you'll be doing live. Hopefully your son is good at video cameraing.
Oh, he is. And I'm going to look like the American flag. Hold on.
No. Oh, you did. Those are actually really cute.
I love them.
Oh, I like those.
I'm going to be wearing them.
There you go.
And I got my Panther flag. It says 1776 on it, and it's the flag. And I got like 3 different shirts that I could wear, and my one that I want to wear says "We the People," and it's the American flag.
That's cool. Well, I'm excited for you. So hopefully, I wish you'd live closer to where I live, or I live closer to you, because I would love to go support something like that. Oh, look at your hat.
I'm wearing.
Oh, I like it. You should get something like to put Queen on that part. I don't know what you would do, but so you have your.
I can't with that one.
I know, because it's rhinestones. It looks like, but
yeah, they are rhinestones. But yeah, I'm going to
be. Yeah, that's cute. I like that a lot.
Patriot that day. So we'll see who shows up. Doesn't matter to me, because I can tell you one thing. By the time I leave that park, everybody there is going to know their rights, how to use them with CPS and the police. So there's going to be a lot more resilience coming out of Winchester, Virginia.
Yay!
Yeah. Well, that's again why I do these shows to all the parents out there that are watching, because, you know, all parents I find when they first come encounter with CPS are completely naive like I was, and just really don't believe that this is what CPS is doing every day to families. And it's just disgusting, because if anything, they're supposed to be doing the opposite and protecting these kids. But our show is almost wrapping up here. So again, anybody that wants to be a guest, you know, in the weeks follow. By the way, real quick, Tiffany, do you know somebody by the name of Arnold Jan? I think he's I want to say a state by you, like really well known as far as his own personal. I don't think it's necessarily CPS, but it's a family court. But anyway, somebody contacted me last week and said they were referred to me from this person. And I looked him up, and I've never talked to him myself, but maybe he watched one of our shows. But I don't know. I kind of felt that that was a little weird and awkward, knowing that.
I think he's a friend of mine on Facebook.
I think so too. But I mean, that's cool that he's trying to promote my show and stuff and find me guests. But I just think it's also a pointer of, you never know who's watching these shows that could one day, you know, help you or help your case or whatnot. But you know, yeah. But for any other,
I want to say this too.
Yeah, go ahead.
People have to understand that when people like me, you do these shows, we are targets. Okay. I even told my own prosecutor, I know I'm a target. So let me tell you, I'm not depressed. I'm not suicidal. Something happens to me, you already know who to look at. So I want people to understand that we are targets, and people will try anything and everything to take us down. So you have to be careful. One of the reasons I'm doing this rally is because I'm not afraid. Okay. And a lot of advocates are afraid because they know the consequences. And when people, like you said, I'm pretty sure he's on, because that name sounds familiar because I see it on my Facebook page.
Yeah.
I'm glad that he's sending people to you.
Yeah.
But I want people to understand that we're all targets that our faces on the front lines, and they don't understand that CPS really is doing this stuff. And if they weren't doing it, we wouldn't be talking about it.
And they wouldn't also, these people you're talking about that are making us be targets, they wouldn't be making us targets if they weren't wanting us to shut up. Meaning, usually when you're speaking the truth, that's the people that want you to shut up, because otherwise you're going to like let their whole system be put on blast in a way. And it's like, you know, if I was telling not the truth, then they probably wouldn't care what I was saying. But it's almost like that in itself should be an eye-opener to anybody out there that really wants to know, is CPS right or is the parents right? It's like, hello, why are they trying to shut us up then? You know, or why are they trying to tell us we can't talk about our case, or, you know, tell the facts of what it is? Because again, they know that they would get caught up eventually, or hopefully they will. I don't know. But I'm in a parking lot, and I don't know if you can hear somebody's alarm going off in the background. Oh, maybe it stopped. But anyways, that's the other struggle. Anybody that has watched me for over the years that I've been doing this now and try to keep doing it, it's like, yes, I have a busy life of, you know, just like myself, and still, you know, visiting my kids and, you know, fighting my hopefully soon to be case of getting my kids back home, my 2 older boys. But I don't want to stop doing this show because I know how much these shows mean to me when I'm watching them on everybody else's platforms. Yes, you brought up a good thing about targets. The people out there that want to hate on us and take us down, it's disgusting. And it kind of like makes you rethink, should I really keep doing this? But again, I know what I get out of these shows when I watch other people do it. And so that's why I continuously try to do it, whether I'm on my break from work in a parking lot, whether my static is probably annoying to people by now because I can't seem to get that figured out, whether, I don't know. But you know what? I'm motivated because I really feel like these are the ways of parents seeking the help right now. I mean, that's just what this world has come to, you know, good thing or bad thing, whatever you want to look at it. But social media really is the way I feel like people are turning to when they're in situations like this. And again, that's why I pushed this show, and I had other parents come on to show that we're not alone, you know, because That's another thing they love to do to you, is completely divide you from your families, your friends, anybody, and make them turn against you. And just the whole world is on you. Your kids are gone, everything. And you don't even know where to turn to next, And anybody that knows me real personal, my own husband, I mean, shoot, every day I almost feel like it might be the last with him, with everything that's happened to him medically, mainly mental, but his mental has now caved into his physical to where he's just a walking skin and bones, I feel like. And it's just eating him alive from every avenue. And so I have to deal with that too every day. Not just because I need my husband and my kids need their father, but he is the only physical human being person I've left in this world that I feel like is even on my side or my kid's side. And to see what it's doing to him, of being that man and taking his kids and feeling like he can't do anything to protect, but yet he's considered the perpetrator, the bad guy about everything. When in reality, if anybody wanted to really know the truth, it's like he was the glue to our family and our boys. And so it's just sad how much CPS really they destroy anything about a family. And it's really sad. But again, back to my point, these shows are what have helped me, because when I can't turn to my only husband for help, sadly, all these podcasts are what kind of keep me going. And I hope it does the same for other parents out there, because that's why I try to still keep doing them every week and, keep that going for anybody that needs it. But again, I'll stop my rant and let you guys say any last words if you want before we end. But yeah, I don't know. That was my burst of venting for a minute. It kind of felt good.
Go ahead,
Athena, you want to say anything else?
Oh, we're not alone in this. We're all together. It is
if you ever get an
the most
update,
excruciating battle. Nobody ever expected.
I bet. Yeah,
but we're here.
Well, if you ever get an update that you want to come on and show, you know how to contact me, and I'm sure the viewers would love to hear an update. Fingers crossed that it's something positive. Because we would love a positive story to come on these shows too.
We need more positive shows, but it's
I'll
just
be back on Monday. I'll be back on Monday because I got to finish doing my rally stuff. God, it's so hard to prepare for this stuff.
But it's so exciting, I'm sure. Oh
the
boy.
court paperwork makes me want to jab my eyeball out, but that's what I got to do at this point.
Well, keep faith and reach out to people like Adrian to help you that know the knowledge, and Tiffany, because that's the other reason why I do these shows, because the people that we come across with the resources and stuff that actually, know that legal, constitutional jibber jabber, what I think of where do I even start? What? But all right. Well, everyone out there, thank you for joining me on my show today, and I'll be back next Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific time. So reach out if you want to be a guest. Otherwise, thank you, Tiffany, for coming on with me, and Athena and Daniel that you didn't even show your face once. I appreciate you guys, and and hope to see you soon with Wait, what did you say?
We'll have to have him on one day just for him to talk.
Yeah, really. We'd love to have him. Okay, everyone. See you next week. Bye. Bye.
Bye.